You've discovered Bonjour app for Zoom. This is a two-part video where in part one, we'll cover core Bonjour functionality, and in part two, we'll discuss some power user features. Bonjour is designed for people who use Zoom and Salesforce, and our users tell us that it helps them lead better meetings while they save a ton of time on pre-call research, note-taking, and updating Salesforce. Here's how it works. Bonjour is a Zoom app, which is another way of saying it's an app that lives within Zoom. If you could imagine you're about to kick off a discovery call with Acme, you would launch the related Zoom meeting from wherever and however you normally would. And then when you're ready, you would navigate to the apps icon down here, click on it, and open Bonjour. Bonjour lives in this sidecar during your meetings, and you can use it with confidence because it's always invisible to whoever you're meeting with, even while you share your screen. In this instance, you may have prepared a note in advance, so you can simply find it and open it. Here we have a note that we've prepared. It includes our pre-call research and a few related and previously linked Salesforce records. During the meeting, you can take notes in the notepad and view and update specific Salesforce fields. To do the latter, you can hover any linked record and click on it to view, access, and update the associated fields view. This fields view includes the Salesforce fields which are important to me, but your fields views can include whatever Salesforce fields are important to you. Perhaps this call is going rather well, and we're discussing advancing from discovery to demo, and then trial. And I know that I can also update the stage from discovery to evaluation. I can make these changes and make these updates right here from within Zoom. Even further, perhaps we're completing the call and learning pieces of information, such as the fact that Acme is also using Zoom, and you can take your notes right here. As it pertains to logging your notes to Salesforce, that's it, you would already be done. Any notes that you take within the Bonjour notepad are automatically logged to any and all linked records. Even further, you can sync any field changes you made to Salesforce in one click. We're finding that as a result of using Bonjour, people can spend a lot less time in Salesforce. But for clarity, let's show you what happened. If we hover a linked record, you have the option to open it in Salesforce. Here is that example opportunity, which we just updated. We can see that it's now in the evaluation stage, that the next step is demo and then trial, and that our notes are here and we're very nicely and automatically pushed from Zoom to Salesforce. Now, clearly, you won't always have a note prepared in advance of every meeting. So if we can imagine, perhaps you're about to kick off another discovery call with a different client or a different account. You could start the associated Zoom meeting, open Bonjour, and start a new note in real time right here. Again, maybe you call it something like Disco with, I'll just call it account B. If you want, you can link it to one or several associated Salesforce records, leads, contacts, accounts, or opportunities. And then you can proceed with either an empty notepad or any one of a number of templates that either we provide or that you or your team has created for yourself. For example, here's my discovery call note template, which I don't only use for notes, but also to follow a certain call game plan and check off certain parts of that plan. We're super excited about this. Again, we're finding that it can help people lead better, more successful meetings while they save a ton of time, as in several hours per week, on work that they need to do anyway. This first part of the video has covered a lot of the core, or on some level, basic Bonjour functionality. If you have something you need to do, feel free to jump, and we hope to see you inside. But if you have a little bit more time, stay tuned for part two of this video, where we will cover some power user functionality. Welcome current and aspiring Bonjour power users. In this video, we're going to talk fields view customization, template creation, the screen share experience, the pre-call research use case, and extended views. So with no further ado, let's take a closer look at fields views by first revisiting the note from earlier in this video. To open a fields view, you hover any linked record and click on it. And to tailor a fields view, you click on this pencil on the top right, where you can then unselect any fields that you don't want to see and search for and select any fields that you do. Even further, you can then drag these fields into whatever order you'd like. A common use case here is many of our users follow certain sales frameworks or methodologies like MEDDIC and have associated fields in Salesforce for the different components of those frameworks. In that case, they often, and you might want to create a fields view with all of those fields in the appropriate order. Now let's take another look or talk a little bit more about templates. To create a template, you start a new note, either inside or outside of a meeting, and at the bottom, navigate to this button right here, which says New Template. So maybe you're creating a template that includes your qualification questions. So you call it something like qualification questions, and perhaps you have 3 questions, and you want it to be a checklist like this. This is how you would create a template. If you click back, you'll see that it's saved. And now every time you start a new note moving forward, you have your template right here, so you can start the conversation efficiently in a way where you feel prepared. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about screen sharing experience. In general, there's very little you have to think about when it pertains to screen sharing and using Bonjour at the same time. But one thing just to underline is sometimes when you share your screen in full screen or in some other fashions, the app will pop out like this. This happens automatically sometimes. Even if this happens, know that Bonjour is invisible to whoever you're meeting with, and they will see whatever is directly behind it on your screen. Okay, so for now, we'll close Bonjour and visit this Zoom window, which you might be familiar with. So this is the Zoom window you see whenever you open Zoom outside of the context of a meeting. You can access your Zoom apps from here as well. You do that by navigating to apps in the top right and then opening whatever app you're looking for. So this is the Bonjour notepad outside of a meeting. It's the same notepad that you have access to inside or during your meetings. And if you could imagine, maybe you are preparing or doing some research for a call you have tomorrow or at any point in the future, you might start a new note and call it something like disco, or in this case, we'll use a demo example, demo with Acme. We'll link it to that same example opportunity and to that same example contact. Now we're doing our research, maybe opening LinkedIn, searching for news, and we also want to view related information that's already in Salesforce, so we click on one of these records. This is your first look at the extended view, which allows you to view and update specific Salesforce fields and prepare and take notes all from a single pane. So again, if you can imagine you're getting ready for this call, maybe you're finding certain info that you want to highlight during the meeting, or you have certain questions that you want to ask during the meeting. Whenever you're done getting ready, you can move on to whatever you have to do next. Close this if you want, because it will all save automatically in Bonjour, and then you can know that you'll be ready to start the meeting confidently because you'll have this information right there with you. Just for further clarity, if we return to this meeting window, and if you can imagine you're starting a new meeting, opening Bonjour, just like this, you'll see that the note which we just prepared is now accessible right here inside the meeting. So as I said before, we are super excited about this. There's also a lot of new and exciting functionality that's going to come out in the days and weeks to come, so we hope you'll stay tuned. If you've made it this far in the video and you've mastered the related functionality, you should be set up to really hit the ground running with Bonjour. You're welcome to figure it all out and get started on your own. Most tell us that it's easy to use and easy to get started, but we're also here and happy to help if you might like a one-on-one onboarding. Once again, we hope to see you inside. Thanks. Bye for now.